Hello everybody. Get this camera right. We're going to fix some stuffed pork chops tonight. It's kind of late. I'm hungry, but I was going to do this earlier and I didn't get a chance, so I'm going to do it now. First of all, I'm just going to get the stuff in the pot. Well, no, I won't. What we're going to do first is work on our pork chops because they're not cut yet. I mean, they're not split. That little clip is kind of hard to work. Just put enough oil in there to maybe, let's see, get a baking dish. Well, no, I'm going to put them in my frying pan, I think. I'm just going to leave them in my frying pan after I take them out and stuff them. That's what the plan is, so we'll see. But right now we're going to work on our pork chops. And you got to get the thick ones. I only got 2 pork chops because they were pretty thick. And they were like $7.24 for 2 thick pork chops. I mean, they're pretty thick. And we're just going to cut them open like halfway. Because we've got to make a pocket to put our stuffing in. And you just basically cut it down to the bone and leave a pocket in there. Just like that. You got to have somewhere to, and we're going to sear them. Go ahead and get that pan hot. And I'm going to get out my other one and cut it the same way. We're just going to slice it. We're just going to, slice it in half like this all the way down to the bone, just to make a pocket to stuff our stuffing in. I can lay this one back here to get it out of the way since I'm so cramped for space. And like I said, we cut it all the way to the bone inside in that pocket in there. Don't want it cut it completely through the meat though. Now what we're going to do is put pepper and salt on it, inside and out. And you're just going to sear it in this pan. We're not cooking it, we're just searing the outside of it. Go ahead and salt and pepper the other one. Okay, we're going to preheat the oven to 350 degrees. And I'm going to use a pot instead of a skillet because I can brown the celery and the onion in there just as well. We're going to melt the butter, and we need 3/4 cups of butter. And that's probably about 3/4 of a cup because I didn't have it all packed down in there good. We're going to heat that up. And it says 1/2 of a diced onion. And I'm going to use one of my onions from my garden. And they're not very big, so I'm going to use this little one and say that's 1/2 of an onion. Meanwhile, our butter is melting. It's getting hot. Yeah, we got to get this cut up. And I always say I don't like to do this, you know, on camera because I'm always crying. I always cry when I cut up my onion. But if you've got a big onion, just use 1/2 of one. I've got a little one, so I'm just going to use the whole thing. And I'm going to put it right down in my butter. And I need the other knife. I can't handle that big one. And we need about 1/2 of a cup of chopped celery, which I've got celery right here. Maybe start with two stalks. I think 2 stalks will probably make about 1/2 a cup once they're cut up. And we can't forget our pork chops, because we're just searing these. We're not trying to cook them. You know what, I think I'm going to move my cutting board over here. And I can use that one, it's only had butter in it. Get this situated right. And I want them kind of in small pieces because I'm going to put it in my stuffing that I'm going to put in the pork chops. And that's about a half a cup. I'll put it right in there. Now we're just going to cook that celery and onion in that butter for a little bit. I think I can turn my pork chops off, because we just wanted to sear the outside. Take them out and let them cool off a little bit. And we're going to use the same pan to cook them in the oven. Now I need 3/4 cup chicken stock, and I'm just going to use bouillon. I'll get 3/4 cups of water, or about 1 cup. Well, I mean, where's 3/4? I don't see it. That's probably good. I got one of the older jar, and it's gotten kind of hard in there from the humidity from the rain that we had. I guess it got hard, and then it stayed that way when it dried out. But that'll be good right there. We're going to use about a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, or half a spoonful of black pepper. Going to put in a little bit of salt. About half a teaspoon. Okay, we're going to leave that skillet there. We want these to cool down just a tiny bit without me touching this burner. I want a little bit of onion powder as well. A little bit of my garlic powder. Now, you don't have to put garlic powder in yours. It's up to you. I'm just putting a little. And then just keep that cooking a little bit until your celery and your onions cook down just a tiny bit. Oh, I tell you, it's been so hot these hot days. I've been really making good of drinking iced tea. I fill it up 2 or 3 times during the day. Know what's going on with this thing now. Trying to get it so the glare of that light doesn't affect it so much. I don't think I'll need the knife anymore, but I'll leave it right there. We're going to bring this to a boil, and instead of using, what did I do with, oh, here it is. Said, what did I do with my stuffing mix? Instead of breadcrumbs and stuff like that, I'm going to use this stovetop stuffing mix, and it's cornbread stuffing mix. That's what I'm going to stuff them with. And I'm going to just put it right in this pot. Need to get my lid though. I didn't get the lid. Got the lid. Now you can use breadcrumbs, you know, make your own dressing. I just prefer to, and I don't really have the bread. I don't have 7 cups of bread right now, breadcrumbs. So I'm just going to use this. I never have that much bread left over in my house because I don't really buy that much of it. Y'all, I dropped the whole thing in there almost. we're just going to stir it, turn the heat off. Get it all wet. I'm going to put the lid on it and let it set for a little bit. Meanwhile, I can put my butter up, move some of this stuff off my counter. So I don't want my butter to get so hot. We're just going to leave that set there for a few minutes. Make sure I got plenty of oil in my pan so everything doesn't stick. We're just going to leave that little bit of brown from the pork chop in there. As soon as that gets a little cool. Clean up some of my mess while we're waiting on the pot. I know I'm going to have a late supper tonight, but that's okay. It's going to be good whenever I get it. And that's probably already done its thing. Yep, it has. We're going to see if we can stuff our pork chops now. Move that right over here. Get one of our pork chops and get it over here. I hope you can see. Need to get a spoon. Now we're only going to put maybe half a cup to 3/4 cup of stuffing in here. And it depends too on how big your pork chops are. You know, if you got really big ones, then you may want to put a little more. But just stuff it right in there. And you want it all to the edge. It's all right if it kind of sticks out a little bit. It'll be good when it does that. Now, if you need to use your hands for this, you go right ahead and use your hands. And then we're just going to lay it down. Whoops. Look at all that. It's just sticking out. Move it over there like that. Get this one up here. I may not have cut a pocket big enough in this one. But just overstuff it. It's going to be good. I promise you. like I said, you may want to use your fingers if it's not so hot you can't handle it. But I know that stuffing is hot, so I prefer to use the spoon. Because it's too hot for my fingers. That onion was burning me. I mean, look how fat that is. And I'm just going to lay it right down in there somehow. And just let it stick out, because we want it to burn, you know, we want it to brown. Whew, that stuffing mix is hot. Now what we're going to do is take all the rest of it and put it around the pork chops. I'm just going to put it right in the pan, right around the pork chops. And you guessed it, we're going to serve it right in the pan. So don't worry that you know, a stuffing box, one stuffing mix is going to be too much, because you're going to just stuff it around your pork chop anyway. You'll have all that stuffing to eat. So it doesn't matter. Get my hands cleaned off. Whew. And again, like I said, we have a 350 oven. I got all this stuff on my oven. Now, we don't want to leave food particles on the top of our stove, especially when we got the oven going, because the stove gets heated up so hot, all of that food dries, and then it's hard to get up. So we don't want to do that. Now, my oven has already been preheating. This pan is scalding hot, so I am going to put it in the oven with mitts. Don't burn your fingers. And we're going to cook it 350 degrees, like I said. For about 20 to 25 minutes. And it should make the stuffing crusty around the edges, which makes it really good. So I'm going to let that be cooking, and I'm going to bring you back when it's ready to come out of the oven. See you in a little bit. Okay, we're going to check our pork chops. I've let mine stay in there. They've been in there for about 30 minutes. I'm sorry about that. Let me get a cough drop. No, I don't really want to do that. But I want to check the little bit of fat on it. Because if you cook it the right amount, that little bit of fat is going to cook done. And I think I'm going to put mine back in there just a few minutes. Not long, but just a few minutes. Because I like that little bit of fat to get crunchy. I don't like it mushy, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I'm eating a late night dinner tonight, but that's okay. I've eaten this late before. And it's a lot cooler right now to get the oven going than it would have been earlier, so that's a good thing. So the temperature and the time may vary depending on how hot your oven gets at 350. If it doesn't get hot enough to get it kind of brownish or crunchy on the outside of your pork chop or your dressing, you might want to leave it in there like I did another 5 or 10 minutes or so, because you know you can't judge it exactly because everybody's oven will vary a little bit. And like I said, I'm not going to leave it in there too much longer, but I'm going to leave it in there a couple more minutes. I want it just a little bit more done, if that makes sense. I'm going to go ahead and turn the oven off because it's still plenty of hot enough to cook it a little more. Might leave it in there another couple of more minutes, and then we'll pull it out of there and give it a taste test. It looks awfully good. Oh, it smells wonderful. I can't wait to taste it because I know it's going to be good. Yeah, I think that's going to do it. Oh my goodness, that looks so good. Bring you over here and get a close-up of it. Look at that. Don't that look good, y'all? Pork chops got kind of brown. This one did too, and it looks like it's just right. So let's see here what we can do. I'm going to put it right here in this plate. To get something to dish it out with. Or maybe two things to dish it out with, because I'm going to get this one right here. Oh, that looks so good. If I can. And the stuffing is falling out. That's okay. Whoop. Y'all, don't that look good? Oh my goodness. The taste test will tell. Y'all, look at that. Look at that pork chop, that stuffed pork chop. It is just stuffed to the brim. Look at that. Don't that look good? Can't wait to dig in. A little piece of that pork chop to go with some of that dressing. Oh, I'm making a mess. I am making a mess. Making a mess, but there you go, y'all. And that's not very good light to show it in. But look at that. Don't that look good? Dear Lord, bless this food I'm about to eat. Amen. But don't that look good, y'all? Oh my gosh. I can't wait. Mmm. Mmm. That is so good, y'all. Get a piece on the bottom. And it works pretty good with stovetop dressing. So you don't have to go to all that problem or trouble to make it. Y'all take another bite. Don't that look good? Pork chop and stuffing. Oh, goodness. Mmm. That is winning, y'all. Mmm. Well, y'all try this recipe. It's real good. And that pork chop is yummy. It's so tender. It's moist. It's not dried out. It's a winning recipe, y'all. And I'll see y'all on my next one. Love y'all. Bye now.